London, the High Court of Justice. A gray, drizzly Monday morning usually reserved for bureaucratic legalities. But today, the atmosphere is electric. Cameras are lined up 4 deep, and the air hums with the frantic energy of a dozen live news feeds. Suddenly, a black SUV pulls up. Out steps a man whose very presence defines the modern royal paradox, Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex. He isn't here for a ribbon cutting. He is here for a reckoning. Just minutes later, another icon arrives, Sir Elton John, the man who sang Candle in the Wind at Harry's mother's funeral. These 2 titans, along with several other high-profile figures, are mounting a legal offensive that could fundamentally dismantle the way the British tabloid press operates. They aren't just suing for a retraction, they are alleging a decades-long campaign of grossly invasive illegal acts. This is the siege of the High Court, and for the Daily Mail, the stakes have never been higher.
To understand why this trial is happening now, we have to look back at the long, bruised history between Prince Harry and the media. It is a relationship forged in the fire of his mother's death in 1997. For Harry, the press isn't just a nuisance, it's a predator. In his memoir Spare and his Netflix docuseries, he's been vocal about the unholy alliance between the palace and the tabloids. But he's not alone. Elton John has been a target of Fleet Street since the 1970s, fighting numerous libel cases to protect his private life. Joining them are Baroness Doreen Lawrence, Sadie Frost, and Elizabeth Hurley. They claim that for years, Associated Newspapers, the parent company of the Daily Mail and the Mail on Sunday, didn't just report the news, they manufactured it through illegal means. We are talking about a history of alleged surveillance that sounds more like a spy thriller than journalism. This isn't a new fight, but it is the first time the resistance has been this organized and this powerful. What exactly are they accusing the Mail of? The details revealed in the opening statements are nothing short of explosive. The claimants allege that Associated Newspapers commissioned the breaking and entry into private property and the placement of secret listening devices inside people's homes and cars. They claim private investigators were hired to record live private telephone calls. More disturbingly, there are allegations of blagging, the practice of impersonating someone or using deception to obtain private information, such as medical records and financial statements. In one instance, it's alleged that journalists obtained the medical records of Harry's former girlfriend, Chelsea Davy, to track her whereabouts. These aren't just ethical lapses, they are criminal acts if proven. The claimants argue that this wasn't the work of one rogue reporter, but a systemic culture of illegality sanctioned at the highest levels of the newsroom. The evidence presented today relies heavily on the testimony of former private investigators who have decided to break their silence. They describe a shadow industry where information was bought and sold like a commodity. According to the legal filings, these investigators were paid hundreds of thousands of pounds to dig up dirt on the royal family and their associates. One specific piece of evidence involves the alleged bugging of Harry's car, allowing reporters to know his exact location before he even arrived at a venue. Another involves the tapping of landlines at Elton John's residence. However, Associated Newspapers is fighting back with a wall of denial. Their legal team argues that these claims are stale and fall outside the 6-year statute of limitations. They've called the allegations preposterous and a pre-planned attempt to drag the Mail titles into the phone hacking scandal. It's a classic case of he said, they said, but with millions of dollars and a legacy of press freedom on the line. The reaction across the media landscape has been polarized. On one side, advocates for press freedom worry that if Harry and Elton succeed, it could muzzle investigative journalism. They argue that the threat of massive lawsuits will prevent reporters from holding the powerful accountable. On the other side, media ethics experts say this is a necessary cleansing of an industry that has operated without oversight for too long. Social media is ablaze. Supporters of the Duke of Sussex are hailing him as a hero for taking on the monster of the British press, while critics label it a celebrity vanity project aimed at silencing any negative coverage. Even within other newsrooms, there is a sense of unease. If the Daily Mail falls or is forced to pay out hundreds of millions, who is next? The fame fallout here isn't just about celebrity gossip. It's about the very definition of what is in the public interest.
The implications of this trial are staggering. If the judge allows the case to go to a full trial, we could see high-ranking editors, including some of the most powerful names in British media, forced to testify under oath. It could lead to a Leveson Inquiry 2.0, a massive government-led investigation into press ethics. For Prince Harry, this is more than a legal victory. It's a personal mission. He has essentially moved to the US to escape this environment, and now he's returned to dismantle it from the inside. For the Daily Mail, a loss could mean financial ruin and a total loss of credibility. This trial marks the end of an era where tabloids could operate in the shadows. From now on, every scoop, every exclusive, and every tip-off will be scrutinized through the lens of legality. The fame fallout is no longer just about the stars. It's about the system that created them. As the sun sets over the High Court, the first day of this marathon legal battle concludes. But the ripples of what happened inside that courtroom are being felt across the globe. Prince Harry and Elton John have drawn a line in the sand. They are telling the world that fame does not mean a forfeiture of fundamental human rights. Whether they win or lose, the message is clear. The era of the untouchable tabloid is over. This is a story about power, privacy, and the price of the truth. As this trial unfolds, we will be here to bring you every update, every bombshell, and every fallout. Because in the war for privacy, the first casualty is always silence. What do you think? Is Harry right to fight, or should he let the past stay in the past? Let us know in the comments below. I'm for Fame Fallout, and we'll see you in the next deep dive.